So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the world at the moment and how sport can help you, but also the effects that some sports people might be suffering. So if you don't know, this is filmed during the COVID-19 lockdown in Spain, so we're only allowed out of the house for essential reasons. And what I want to talk about to start with is how you might be feeling psychologically and how sport can help, or being physically active can help.
So one of the first things you're probably going to be experiencing is anxiety, and anxiety stems from the lack of confidence or lack of belief that you can achieve, succeed in a particular task, or that you feel that you aren't up to the requirements of what's needed. And in the current situation, sport can help in two ways, but it can also be a slight hindrance. So first of all, we're going to look at how sport can help relieve that anxiety. And then we're going to look at anxiety that may be experienced by people who are used to doing regular sport and how the current situation affects them. And we're also going to look at, in general, how sport can help your mental health.
So, first of all, being trapped in the house isn't easy, especially if you're an active person or if you're a social person as well. And some of us use sport to be active. We also use sport to be social, to meet people, spend time with friends. Not me, no one likes me. But when you're in this situation, trapped, it can be difficult to remove those emotions.
Okay, so there are two main types of anxiety. The first type is called trait anxiety, and that's how anxious you are as a person naturally, what you've inherited in your personality, or looking at social learning theory, how you've learned it from other people. So you might be naturally quite an anxious person, or you might be naturally quite a calm and confident person. There's no right or wrong answer. There's nothing wrong with being naturally anxious. There's nothing wrong with being naturally confident. Okay, that's just the way you are. The second type of anxiety is your state anxiety, and that's how anxious you are in particular situations. So you might be naturally quite confident in your job or in your sport or whatever, but you might lose confidence when it comes to a specific situation. Very common is giving speeches in front of groups of people. If you're looking at sport, it might be taking a penalty, it might be a race or whatever. So what we're going to look at is how those two types of anxiety are being created by the current situation and how we can combat them.
Some of us, like me, naturally fairly anxious. Everything can worry me. If something outside me is stressing me out, it often makes me feel anxious. And one way I used to deal with that anxiety is, I'm an active person, I do sport. So in this situation, a lot of you are probably feeling trapped. You're probably feeling you can't work, you can't do your studying, and that's going to cause you stress, and these are stresses.
So let's look at this current situation. Obviously it's very difficult for us to do sport, it's very difficult for us to stay active when we're limited to our house. So for those of us who are quite a high level of trait anxiety, such as me, we can actually look at other alternatives to help manage those stressors. Now, a stressor is something that's actually causing the anxiety. Now, for me at the current stage, the stressor that I'm experiencing is that I can't do my sport, which naturally raises up my anxiety. I'm naturally a triathlete or a runner, so I like to get outside, I like to run, I like to ride, all these kind of things, and I can't do that. Now, unfortunately, that's out of my control. That's a decision that's been made, rightly so, to try and stem the current situation or to stop the current situation. That's something that I cannot control. I cannot control what other people do. So a controllable factor is something you can do. You make a choice and you can control it. I control, for example, what I eat. I control what I do with my spare time. These are all factors that I have the choice and I can take control of. And these are the things that, because I can control them, I have power over them. And therefore I can influence what's happening in my life. An uncontrollable factor is something like the weather. It's something like, obviously, being told we need to stay at home. This is something I can't control. Now, I can stress about this all I want. If I want to go out on my bike and it's raining, there's nothing I can do to change that. If I want to go outside for a run but we can't go out of the house, there's nothing I can do to change that. So what I can do is remove that as a stressor. I can't control that. No amount of worrying is ever going to change it. What is controllable is what I can do, and I can change that. So instead of going out for a ride, I'm lucky enough to be able to ride my bike indoors with rollers. Now that's something I can control. Because I can control it, it helps me manage the anxiety of the situation. If I feel I'm in control of my situation, it's going to help me feel more relaxed, more confident to cope with those challenges. Staying active in your house is going to be really, really important over the coming weeks to make sure that you, A, keep the right frame of mind and you stay positive, and B, to make sure you're healthy. Because if you lose your health and if you reduce your immune system, you reduce your physical activity, it's only going to cause you problems. That's why sport's so good for you. It's important that you stay active in your house to help maintain this positive frame of mind.